Wages, Nevada. Thank you so much for joining the call this morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I guess I take these out of my headphones here. Let's get it all set up. All right, here we go. Well, thank you so much. Wow, look at that, look at that. Hey, thank you all for joining the call this morning. As you know, it's Follow-Up Friday. Follow up everybody, talk to you about the business. Keep building, keep building, keep going, keep going. Hey, listen, don't forget the contest for the Vivid. Aha, don't forget. Anyway, good morning, Mr. Brian Baker, Regional Director out of Las Vegas. Good morning, sir. Miss Caroline Baker. Baker, okay. Miss Celia from Woodland, California, good morning. Mr. Dale Ransom, thank you so much. Miss Jill Murphy from Chicago, Illinois, thank you for calling in. Mr. Casey Carter, San Diego, thank you so much. Muhammad, future SVP, is in a waiting room. Mr. Muhammad, future SVP, I like that. Eileen in San Diego, good morning, thank you so much for joining. Let's see, hey, there it is, Regional Director, Mr. Julian Lewis, I like that shirt, sir. I like that shirt. Did you get your other gift yet? Did it come? The backpack? Uh-oh, let's look, everybody. The backpack has arrived. Yeah, the backpack has arrived. I know we're going to see that more on Tuesday. Thank you, sir. Congratulations on winning the backpack from Vivid. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, let's go to Miss Eileen. Okay, Miss Kathleen Williams, good morning. Mr. Payon in Japan, good morning, sir. All the way from Japan, good evening over there. Miss Castro in Phoenix, excuse me. Good morning, Mr. Lance Kelly, good morning. Miss Marie, good morning. Miss Pat Robinson, I like that black and white top. That looks good on you, young lady. Wow. Mr. Michael Jacobs, good morning. Mr. Sam Foster in San Diego, down in Dallas, Texas, hanging out with Mr. T.D. Jakes. Queen V from New York City, thank you so much. Miss Sensational in Florida, I like the glasses. Miss T. Hayes, good morning. Miss Konohara over Japan, good morning. Good evening, excuse me. Sergio in Mexico, good morning, sir. Miss Tracy Gilmore, thank you so much. Mr. Chris McDowell, thank you so much. Miss Jones of Crew out in South Carolina, thank you for joining. Miss Elena Batiste, good morning. Mr. Ed Navarro in Fresno, thank you. I'll be in Fresno next Friday, everybody. Friday, I'll be in Fresno for leadership, for leaders. So you're applying about that. Mr. Scott Thong, thank you so much for joining. Mr. Bill Bailey, thank you so much. Harrison Mill in Fresno, good morning. Also, Ms. Natasha Ismail, Superstar Regional Director out in Fresno. Also like to thank Pat and Frank Bowman up in Elk Grove, California. Thank you so much. Mr. Ismail, my friend in Mexico, thank you for joining. And Miss Marcia Carter. Hey, folks, we got a great call lined up. Like I said, I just sent a message out around the country, around the world to let you know who our guest speaker is going to be today. He started in ACN back in the day. And I asked him to talk on a few things that bless me every time I talk about his humble beginnings. He also overrides about 85% of all of Europe. I'll say that again slower. He overrides 85% of all of Europe. Yeah, Artner Talapalo's his downline. Larry Raskin was in his downline. George Zalicki was in his downline. James Adams is downline. Leon Gabriel. I mean, the list goes on. Okay, so I want you to understand long-term vision, and that's what this man has. He's a dear friend of mine. I could call him anytime. We talk about stuff, not even ACM related, but we have such a great respect for each other. And his wife, I've had her on the call before. She is a lawyer, RVP, platinum in her own right, and a business owner, entrepreneur, author, and the list goes on and on. He's a father of 3 steps. His sons are like steps. I call them, they're just handsome young men. They're a great job. He's a great father, and he's done so well in ACN and encouraging everybody, because you got to understand, like I said before, we're all on the same ship called ACN, maybe different level of the ship. So pay attention, get your notepads out, ladies, get your eyebrow pencils out, get whatever you got to write on, but take notes, folks, because this man has been around 27 years with ACN. He was one of the first early on guys that got in, but he never quit. He stayed the course. He built a huge organization. Without further ado, my dear friend, Mr. Orin Solomon, Senior Vice President.
Thank you, Al. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
It's good to see you, man. You look great. Like you're out in the sun.
I can't complain.
And I see some smiling.
I'm working on my suntan.
I I love it. I love it, man. Great to see all the people on today. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy to be on with you guys today. I'm excited. Anytime I get a call from Al Thomas to jump on this call, I gladly do it because he's done so much to help me as a person, as an entrepreneur. He's a very dear friend of mine. I call him the Godfather, man. He just has a lot of wisdom. Has been around our industry a long time, has seen a lot. So every so often, I'll give him a call to bounce stuff off of him because of what he's known, what he's experienced. And I just want you to know you got a tremendous leader, man. He's a great, great leader. And don't take it for granted. You know, there are a lot of people in ACN that don't have what you have. They don't have an SVP to work with on a day-to-day basis. They don't have an SVP doing Zoom calls for them or doing meetings and scheduling and just helping you grow your business. And so it's easy to take it for granted because he's always going to be there. He's doing these calls, but people don't have what you have. So you want to really use his wisdom and knowledge to help advance your business, to really, really propel your business to the next level. And he really wants you to be better than him, man. That's the name of our game. We're trying to find people better than us. So, you know, use what he's sharing with you and just take it to the next level, man. If you want to be great and have great things happen in your life, look, my dad told me a long time ago, he said the next generation should always do better than the generation before it. And so that's what this is really about. So Al, thank you so much, man, for all you do. Appreciate your leadership. Al asked me to jump on the call today just to kind of just tell you a little bit about my story and just kind of give you some perspective on ACN right now. As he mentioned, I've been in ACN for 27 years. This is all I know, man. This is all I know. Prior to ACN, I was a college football player. I tried out for 7 NFL teams. It didn't work out. I went back to school to get a master's degree because when you grow up in a Caribbean family household, education is everything. And so I went to get a master's degree. I got out, still wasn't making any money. And fortunately for me, I met ACN. I was fortunate to meet Mike Kane, who was the vice president of North American sales. He had learned from someone who was earning $1 million a month in network marketing. And I was like, man, I definitely want to get some of that. So, you know, I listened to him and 9 months into the business, I was able to replace my income. But I got to tell you, man, I had a lot of hurdles in the beginning. I had to learn so much about people. I had to learn a lot about I had to learn that people lie. How many of y'all know what I'm talking about? You know, you invite people to meetings, you invite them to Zooms, and they say they're going to be there, they don't show up, right? And I was in my feelings a lot about that. You know what I mean? I was taking it personal. When in actuality, they just are who they are. You know what I mean? When people show you who they are, believe them. You know? So I had to learn that people lie. I had to learn that, you know, I was a little bit of a procrastinator. There were certain things that I said that I wanted. I wanted to be this. I wanted to be rich. I wanted to be famous. I wanted to be successful. But I wasn't really willing to put in the work that it took to have those things and dreams I talked about. So I'm challenging you guys right now. Are you putting in the work that you need to put in to get to what it is you say you want to get out of ACN? Because ACN requires work, period. This is network marketing, not net chill marketing. You know what I mean? Like, you got to put in the work. And sometimes you're not going to see the results of the work that you put in 30, 60, 90, 120 days in. All right, so you have to continually put the work in. You got to continually peak. You got to continually present. You got to continually do the Zoom presentations. And you don't ask yourself when, you just do it until. All right, and here's what happens. The belief and the productivity and all that stuff comes after the work goes in over an extended period of time. It's kind of like, what's his name? Darren Hardy has this book called The Compound Effect. All right. And in the compound effect, he just talks about how, you know, whatever you do, good or bad, if you do it over time, it just compounds. You know what I mean? So one of the things I realized is I needed to talk to a lot of people. And, you know, I didn't see success for a while, but the more people I kept talking to, the more I realized that, man, stuff started trickling in. And so I started to play games with myself because I realized the law of large numbers will never, ever, ever fail you. And so, you know, back then, you know, we didn't have the technology that we had now. So it was a belly to belly business. We need to go talk to people. So I made a pact with myself. I said, I need to go regional vice president. If I go regional RVP, I got to talk to at least 10 people a day, all right, for the next 30 days. so I can really have a long list of people to contact with and follow up with and stay in communication with to help me reach this goal and to help them as well. So here's what I did. I got up in the morning, I took 10 pennies, I put it in my right pocket. All right. And every time I pique someone's interest and I would get their name and number, I would remove the penny from the right pocket and put it to the left pocket. And here's the deal. It does not count if you didn't get their name or number. So if you talk to somebody and you don't exchange information, they don't count. All right. And then and I couldn't go home. I could not go home until I got those 10 names. So there were times where, I was busy with work or busy with graduate school and I didn't talk to a lot of people, but I had like 5 more names to go. And so I would go out and go to the grocery store and go places just to meet people, just to get the names. But at the end of the day, the 10 pennies were removed from the right pocket to the left pocket, which meant I had 10 new names, 10 new prospects, 10 new people to talk to, follow up with about the ACN business. Well, I did it for 30 days. After 30 days, had over 300 people. Approximately, I would say 90, 120 days after I did that, I became a regional vice president with ACN. And I'm telling you guys, I'm speaking to you from experience. The reason that happened is because I made a decision, period. I wasn't going to turn back. I wasn't negotiable about that. I wasn't say, oh, it's a rough day. Let me go on it. No, I had to talk to 10 people. I had to get the 10 names and I had to become an RVP. And see, once that switch goes on, I had one of the SVPs do a call for me last week. I said, I really need you to have a conversation with my people about making a decision to win. And making a decision is real. It's when that switch goes off and you just take action 24 hours a day. You eat, sleep, drink ACN. You talk to people all the time. You're piquing interest. You're closing people. You're getting customers. You're just doing the business all out every day. That's when the switch happens, is when everything happens. And your business is it's like the compound effect. People start calling you back that you talked to that you forgot you talked to. You know what I mean? So, but you got to put that in motion. Everything starts with you. So that's the first thing, making a decision, talking to as many people as you possibly can. Let me tell you another thing you got to do. A lot of people fail in our industry because they don't follow up. You got to follow up, man. How many of you honestly have talked to some people over the last 30, 60, 90, 120 days and just forgot to call them back? Be honest. Maybe didn't follow up with them. Maybe they told you no and it wasn't the right time, or maybe even early in the year before the pandemic and you forgot about calling that person back. Let me tell you something. Things change, not monthly, not quarterly, not annually. Things change daily for people now. That's the kind of economy we're in. Things can change overnight. Jobs are being cut overnight. Businesses are being shut down overnight. So you need to be following up all the time, regularly, on a daily basis, on a bi-daily basis, on a weekly basis with folks. Hey man, how's it going? Look, man, I follow up with people so much now. People, they know why I'm calling. And they're real nice about it. You know what I mean? But I'm being nice. I'm like, look, I'm just touching base. I want to see how things are going. And look, I called a guy last night, lives in Arizona, by the way. And he's a soccer coach. I said, hey man, I was just touching base. He said, look, I really need to talk to you about ACN now. Some things have changed and I'm open. So it is crucial to your business to follow up. In fact, there was a stat, and I can't remember where I saw this, where they said a lot of the successful people in our industry had to be piqued and followed up with or contacted 5 to 7 times before they made a decision to get started with that particular business. And so how many of you have followed up with people 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times? If you hadn't, then it's time to get on the phone with these people today and follow up with them. Because some of you are going to find some gems in there that are ready now. They're right. They're ready to go. But you just got to call them. And here's the deal. If you don't, somebody else will. I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where you knew somebody, or maybe you talked to them a long time ago, and maybe a year or 2 or 3 later, they ended up in somebody else's business. That's the worst feeling to have in the world, man. So I'm telling you, follow up with as many people as you can right now. People are open. They're looking. We're going into the holidays, man. People are looking to make they're looking to make Christmas money. There has not been another stimulus check coming out for people. I mean, people are hurting. So it is our responsibility to get the word out about ACN. Now, I want to talk to some of you who may have a little fear of picking up the phone or calling people or dealing with rejection or wonder when it's going to happen. Look, Al and I have the same fears, worries that everybody else has on this line. We feel the same exact way, but we just choose to face the fear and do it anyway. We just turn it into action. You know, I remember when I was building AC and I was struggling, and I'm going to tell you this story. This story this saved my life. Okay. I started doing a meeting. I lived in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, but I'm from Maryland. So I started doing a meeting in Maryland. I was doing a weekly meeting. And on Tuesday nights, I would work my job. I would leave work early. I would go home, grab my color TV, drive for 2.5 hours, do the meeting in Maryland, drive back to Philadelphia so I can get to work the next day every week. And I remember at this particular time, my business kind of hit a lull. And look, everybody's business hits a lull. It's just a part of the industry. You got to be okay with that. And I remember this one particular week. I think it was at the end of the month. And man, I had overspent. I was on a budget and I didn't have a lot of money. And I had a choice, okay, to keep my word to these people I was working with and drive down and do this meeting, or say, somebody's got to step up. Y'all got to do the meeting. Because at the time, I only had like $5 in my pocket. God's honest truth, $5. Now, back in that time, you could put $5 in a Honda, you could drive a long way. Okay. So I said, all right, I gave these people my word. If I'm really about ACN and my word, I need to do what I said I was going to do. And that's the definition of commitment, doing what you said you were going to do long after the mood you had said it and has left you. So I jump in my car, I put a couple dollars in my Honda, I skip a couple toll booths, and I get down to Maryland. I'm doing this meeting with no money in my pocket. I'm presenting an opportunity. I'm excited. I'm fired up. Trust me, they have no idea about my financial situation at the time. All right. But I'm excited. In this meeting, there's a guy in the back of the room. And the guy gets up and he's pacing back and forth in the back of the room. And so now I've never done a presentation where I have someone get up and is just walking back and forth while I'm talking. So in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, this guy's really rude, but that's okay. The meeting's done. And he comes up to me, he goes, who appointed you to be the leader of this organization, this area? I said, I did. He said, okay, well, that's a good answer. And then I never saw him again. Well, I should say I never saw him again. I didn't see him after that. And people went on, I was closing folks or whatever, right? So I get back, I get a phone call from Vice President North American Sales, Mike Kane. He said, look, you had a guy in your meeting tonight who's a professional networker, and he and his partner are excited. You better get your butt in gear. They're going to be getting started with us. You better wake up. I was like, okay. Well, I was like, whatever. Okay. Well, anyway, the guy ended up getting in the business. My dollar report went from 1 page to 2 pages in 24 hours. And then it started going to 4 pages, and it started doubling. It started growing like crazy. My group was taking off. And I tell people, the only reason why I got to regional vice president was out of fear of loss. People will operate more out of what they have to lose as opposed to what they have to gain. You might want to write that down. So sometimes you may have to take the opportunity away from people or taproot and build underneath of them so they can see what they're missing. And they'll wake up, get their butt in gear, learn, grow, do whatever they got to do to advance and win. And that's what happened to me. And that guy that I'm telling you about was a guy by the name of Mr. Larry Raskin, the vice president of global leadership. And that changed my life. And ever since that happened, I realized that, man, whenever I give my word to somebody to do something, if I don't feel like driving a long way to do that presentation, I need to go, because you never know who's going to show up. And over my 20 some odd years of doing ACN, I have driven, and you don't have to do that now, guys. I'm giving you perspective. We got Zooms. We don't have to do that. You don't have to spend gas money. You don't have to do any of that. But I'm just giving you my story here, okay? I have driven 3 hours to meet with 2 people, and one of those people ended up becoming a regional director. So you never know a heart of a champion. You just have to invest your time in your craft. And there are going to be some times when people don't show up. You have to be okay with that. The law of large numbers will never fail you. The law of large activity will never, ever fail. You're going to have some hits, you're going to have some misses. But if you just keep doing it, and I mean, the misses are going to be great, but the hits are going to be better. You know what? If you are a 300 hitter, 300 percentage hitter in baseball, you are a Hall of Famer. Now in school, that's an F, right? 30% is an F. But in baseball, you're a Hall of Famer. So think about, just be a baseball player. You know what I mean? 3 out of 10 people is great. Those are great numbers. And look, here's what I feel. I think that everybody eventually will get into ACN. They will. At some point in their time in life, there will be a time in their life where they need a supplement of income, where they need to be around positive people, when they need to be around personal development, or they want to do something. Eventually, everybody will get in. It's just a matter of when. Because who wouldn't want to get paid when people pay their bills? I mean, it just makes sense. Stevie Wonder could see this, right? So it just makes sense. So our job, we cannot control their response. We can't control whether they say yes or no. All we can do is control what we can control. And the only thing we can control is talking to people. That's it. So all I do is just talk to people. All right. Are you open to making some money? Are you open? That's all I do. And if I get a yes, great. I take them through the process, 3-way call or video or Zoom or what have you. If they say no, I keep it moving. No big deal. Don't take it personal. Don't take it personal, man. It's all good. All right. And then you're going to have you're going to come across the haters. I'm sure y'all met some of the haters that, they'll tell you all kind of stuff and they'll try to mess you up. That's okay. And those are the same people that when you make it, they'll be like, man, I knew you could make it. I knew you would always be successful. Then you'd be like, no, you didn't. You can be honest with them. So listen, just enjoy this journey, man. ACN it's fun right now. Look, I want to give you perspective. Look at how great ACN is right now. You don't have to leave your home. You don't have to put gas in your car. You don't have to drive 3 hours to have someone tell you no, or have someone not show up. All you have to do is sit in front of your computer, go through your Rolodex or go through your cell phone and call people and put them on a Zoom and get them in front of the information. Is that awesome or what? Come on, man. We have the best opportunity on the planet. We just got to do the work. We got to put the work in. Now is the time to put in the work. The company has done everything they can for us, man. They've given us this new comp plan. They've increased the commissions on for the residuals for energy. I mean, they're constantly doing stuff to help us. So it's now up to us to get out there and get to the next level. How many of you can honestly say, that you know that you have not reached your full potential in ACN? Honestly, you know it, right? And so it's just a matter of you making that decision, all right, taking the action, going through the numbers, talking to people, not worrying about what they say. And every once in a while, you get a couple gems, a couple jewels, and teach them how to do the same thing. That's it. That's my message. So I got to tell you guys, I love your leader, Al Thomas. He's a dear, dear, dear friend of mine. I really do value his friendship. Don't take his leadership for granted, man. The only thing he wants for you is you to win big. That's the only thing that makes us smile as leaders, is to see other people. When I tell you, man, when I see stories of people who came in, like I'll tell you a story about James Allen. When James Allen got involved in ACN, he was a college student. He was a senior in college. He's white-eyed, bushy tail, and just optimistic about life. But, he had to learn network marketing. In fact, for 7 years, he had no success. 7 years, no success. But guess what? He stayed plugged in. Came to every training, came to every event, was always smiling. I was always nice to him. I was like, hey man, be nice to bring some guests. But he kept showing up. He kept showing up. And then one day it happened. It clicked. It clicked. He said, man, if I can just get a lot of people to these big events, my business will take off. He figured it out. He started promoting events like crazy. He became one of the best promoters of events. He got people in front of the owners, in front of the top people for that particular quarter, and his business started taking off. Then he started growing personally, started doing personal development. And now you guys know him as one of the top people in ACN, you know? But, you know, you have to know his story though, because you need perspective. Because a lot of people think, well, he just came out like that. They just spit him out like, no, 7 years of nothing, right? How many of you are willing to work this for 7 years and do nothing? You know what I mean? So I need to give you perspective here. There are people that are paying a price right now. You don't know who they are, but 6 months from now, they're going to be up there telling their story, right? And they're going to be the next leaders. That might be some of you on this call. So I told you that story just to give you perspective and to give you hope and to let you know, man, this is the greatest thing. This is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. I'm being honest with you. I met my wife through ACN, which yielded me my fruit, my kids, my family. So everything I have right now, everything I have, you know, and for the most part, has come from ACN. So I'm speaking to you passionately about this opportunity that can help you in so many different ways in your life. So let's just give it the justice that it deserves. Let's work this as hard as we possibly can. Look, the owners work really hard, man. They do everything they can to put us in a position to win. Let's do our part. Is that fair? Is that cool? Well, listen, it was a pleasure speaking to everyone. I hope you have a fantabulous Friday. Have an awesome weekend. Follow up, promote. I'm sure there's a training tomorrow that you're going to be plugging people into. Get as many people in that training as possible. Al, I love you, man. Great to see you, buddy. Take care now.
Hey, thank you so much, my friend. Appreciate you so much. Hey, like mine, look, same shirt almost, same color, blue,
Yes,
blue. Hey, thank you so much, sir. We
Take care,
appreciate
man.
your time. God bless
Yeah,
you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Everybody, wait a minute. Let's show Mr. Allen some love. Come on, y'all. Thank you, sir. Thank you. He's got to rush off to another meeting real quickly, but I want to say this to you. Don't forget tonight at 6 o'clock on our happy hour, all the RDs and higher that gets